Hello, this is Steve Shaw, National Coordinator of Officials and Secretary Rules Editor. And first and foremost, let me say to you that I hope you're staying safe and healthy. That's so important in this environment we're in today. Now, I'm coming to you from my home office, and like many of you, I'm working from home and trying to make the best of it. But from a national perspective, what we want to do is put something football related in front of you every week. Now, I know your conference, all conferences have local initiatives going on, and that's great. Let's continue with those. But from a national perspective, last week we did a national quiz. It included both on field and IR plays. So you hope you're working through both. And then in alternating weeks, we're going to do training videos. The video this week is going to focus around targeting, and we've actually selected a number of plays that we used with our commissioners at our CFO meeting back in January. We put clickers in their hands, and they really did well, but I'm expecting us to do better. So best of luck, and let's get on into our video today. Now, this first play we're going to look at is a pass play, but what we're really looking at is the hit on the quarterback. And what you're going to see as we take a look at the replay is number 90, he goes high and really attacks by lowering his head and really leading with his head and makes forcible contact into the helmet of the quarterback. So this is a good call on the field of targeting. And then, as we all know, when we go to replay and kind of the change we made last year, that they've got to confirm all aspects of this. So number one, do you have a defenseless player? Absolutely, we do. The quarterback is defenseless. Number two, do we have an indicator? And yes, you can see an attack by lowering the head, leading with the head. And then finally, do you have forcible contact to the head or neck area? Yes, we do. We can confirm all three. This is a good targeting call. Now, play two is going to be a play with multiple components. So we've got to stay alert to dead ball action. And you can see here, incomplete pass, and clearly number 40 comes in and is very late. And so we need to get this without a doubt on the field as a dead ball personal foul. But the second part of it, and this would be tougher to get on the field, hope we could, but you're going to see 40. He's going to lower his head, lead with his head, and make forcible contact with the crown of his helmet into the chest of the defenseless receiver. So it's not a targeting foul because we're hitting a defenseless receiver in the head or neck area. But this is number 40, leading with, attacking with the crown of the helmet and making forcible contact right into the chest of the receiver. So the call on the field would have been great if we could have gotten dead ball, personal foul with targeting. I think that would be the best. But we should absolutely get the dead ball foul. And then the expectation here, replay, would be able to go back and take a look at this and add, if necessary, the targeting. But you could confirm this from replay without a doubt. Now, play three is a pass that goes across the middle, and we get a big high hit here, and certainly could understand why we got a flag down on the field for targeting. It's a big high hit, happens very fast. But as we look at this, and then let's go through the steps as if we were a replay official. I mean, the first step is, do we have a defenseless player? Absolutely, there's no question. The receiver is still defenseless. Second question is, do we have forcible contact to the head or neck area? No question about that. But then the third part is really, do we have an indicator? And there's really no indicator here. There's no attack. He's really playing the ball and really just runs through, and they do make hard contact helmet to helmet. But in this view, it is really not a targeting foul. So this is a good job for replay. They would overturn this because there is no indicator on the play. This is not targeting. As we look at play four, in real speed, this really looks like a targeting foul. It's a high hit to a defenseless receiver, a hard high hit, and we get the marker down. And really, we would support that call on the field. In fact, the rule book says, when in question, it's a foul. So we get the marker down, and now replay must go through their steps. So their steps are, number one, do we have a defenseless receiver? Absolutely. Number two, do we have an indicator? And you're going to see the defensive back, he actually launches, he leaves his feet and goes high. So we have an indicator, but then do we have forcible contact to the head or neck area? And what you're going to see, the defender does a pretty good job. He gets his head to the side, goes in, leads with his shoulder, and he makes contact below the head or neck area of the receiver. So this is a good job of replay to overturn this. This is not targeting. and we would support the call on the field, but it's not targeting, and good job replay to take it off. As we look at play 5, we're going to see another hit to the quarterback, and we get a good call by our referee for targeting. So as we go back and look at the replays and really break this thing down, number one, the question is, do you have a defenseless player? No question, the quarterback is defenseless here. Number two, do you have an indicator? And what you're going to see by the defensive player is lowering the helmet and really attacking high and leading with the helmet. And then finally, and this is important from our rule perspective, you're going to see the forcible contact really goes into the face mask of the quarterback and then really into the neck area. And as we know, the rule says into the head or neck area. So this is a good example that really shows the neck. So we're really able to confirm targeting. We can see all aspects of this. So we confirm this targeting foul. This is a good call by our on-field officials. Good job by our replay to confirm it. Play 6 shows 2 big hits on a defenseless receiver. And we would likely get a flag on the field for targeting on this unless somebody had a very clear view. But let's go back and look. We get 2 really good replays from different angles. And the first, we're going to see the cornerback, number 27. He's going to come in, and he leads with his shoulder, and he stays off the receiver's head. And so good job there. The safety you're going to see coming in, number 2, he comes in heads up, and he also leads with his shoulder. And really neither has forcible contact to the head or neck area of the defenseless receiver. So really both do a good job. And if this one was called on the field, I think replay would have all they need right here to overturn this. So this, and neither of the hits are late. So both hits, neither are a foul. And so there's just no foul on this play. As we look at play 7, we have a punt. And what you're going to see is the back judge in good position, and he's going to pick up a blindside block. And actually, he makes the call of blindside block with targeting. And so that's the call on the field. Now replay has to come in, and we're going to get a number of looks. And I think from the first look, there's no question that this is a blindside block. But replay is really looking for the targeting component. And it's a good job on the field to get both. And then as we look at replays, this final replay we're going to get to is really the definitive view. I think from the others, you can tell that the blindside block is correct. He's a defenseless player, and there is clearly an indicator. But then you really, until you get this last view, you can't confirm that there's forcible contact to the head or neck area. But as we look at this final view, there's no question that the blocker leads with his head right into the side of the head of the player covering the kick. And so now replay with this last view is able to confirm all aspects. So this is a good job on the field of making the call blindside block with targeting, and replay can confirm it. As we look at play 8, this is a great illustration of our rule change from last year from replay perspective. So we get a hit on the quarterback. He's rolling out and throwing a pass. And so as replay comes in and we start to get replays on this, you're going to see that no question he's defenseless. There's an indicator, upward thrust, the defender's coming in high, leading with his head. The question here you have to begin to look at is, now can we confirm forcible contact? You see a replay from behind, and it makes you suspect maybe that head goes into the shoulder and chest. So as we continue to look at all replays, another one from behind, really doesn't look like there's forcible contact to the head or neck area at all. And then the final replay, really the high 50 look, really you just can't confirm that there's forcible contact to the head or neck area. So I think in previous years, this would have been a stands. But as we know now, there is no stands. So replay would be able to overturn this because you just can't confirm the forcible contact to the head or neck area. All other aspects are there, but this would be one that is just not targeting from a replay perspective. Play 9 is another potential targeting play, and really this is a tough one to get on the field. We'd like to get it on the field, but we understand the difficulty of this play. But we're going to get a couple replays, and really both replays will help us confirm that this is a 9-1-3 crown of the helmet targeting foul. So what you're going to see is the defender is really leading and attacking, leading and attacking with the crown of the helmet. And it's going to actually be into the head of the opponent. It doesn't have to be into the head of the opponent to be a foul. But there's no question that this player is lowering his head, attacking, and making forcible contact with the crown of his helmet. So I think you would agree from the replays, this is one that even if we didn't get it on the field, that replay could come in and create this targeting foul. And there's no question that this is a good call, would be a good call for targeting and could be confirmed. Play 10 is a punt play. And there are 3 blocks that we're going to evaluate on the return. So we're going to let this play all the way through, but it illustrates our new blindside block rule that we had last year. So what you're going to see as we play this thing through, we're going to come back and look at the first block. So the first block here is by number 16. He's going to just basically screen, and so clearly that's not an illegal blindside block. The second block we're going to take a look at is number 98, and he's blocking on number 88, and he leads with his hands. And so as we've talked to the players and coaches, that is a legal way to make a blindside block. But then the third block we're going to look at is number 36, blocking on 17, and this one is an illegal blindside block. You can see he attacks with forcible contact clearly to the blind side of his opponent, and so this is a good call for illegal blindside block. But also this thing has to be evaluated for targeting. But as you can take a look at it, there's no question, there's no targeting with this. So this is just a good call for an illegal blindside block. Good job. Well, that's it for our plays this week. Hope these were helpful. I do want to make one final point from a rule change that is pending this year. As you know, we haven't gotten the approval of the Playing Rules Oversight Panel yet, but I think it'll come. But the disqualification. So now when we announce disqualified for targeting, the player does not have to leave the playing enclosure. They can stay in the team area. And so every other foul that in previous years carried disqualification, now the term is going to be ejection. And so like 2 unsportsmanlikes or a flagrant personal foul, fighting, anything that carried in the past disqualification now will be an ejection. And when a player is ejected, they do have to leave the playing enclosure. So we'll talk about that more in our next video on rule changes. Best of luck.